Imagine stepping into a courtroom where logic bends, the truth hides behind laughter, and justice wears a crooked smile. In today's case, we're not just observing a trial, we're peeling back the curtain on a story so bizarre, it could only happen in real life. In recent years, the runaway advancements in GPS technology have transformed the way we navigate our world. These devices guide us down winding roads, leading us to the most obscure destinations, all while promising accuracy and reliability. But what happens when this high-tech guidance goes awry? What legal ramifications arise when a device designed to help us leads us astray? Today, we delve into the legal battles over GPS misguidance. We will explore the lives impacted by erroneous directions, the lawsuits that followed, and the broader implications for technology and accountability. Our journey begins with a couple from Minnesota. Imagine they are gearing up for a much-anticipated road trip to a beautiful cabin in the woods, a perfect getaway from their everyday grind. They load their car with snacks, grab the kids, and set their GPS for the scenic route to their destination. But as the hours pass, something seems amiss. The GPS is directing them into the depths of the wilderness, far from the paved roads and familiar landmarks. Before long, they find themselves driving down a narrow, dirt path surrounded by trees and the eerie silence of nature. Panic sets in as the screen insists they stay the course. The couple is forced to make a decision, trust the device or turn back. They continue on, convinced that the GPS knows best. This is where the plot thickens. They end up getting hopelessly lost, stranded in an area where cell service is non-existent. Hours turn into a nightmarish scene as they struggle to find their way back. Eventually, they are rescued by a nearby resident who happens to notice their distress. But the story doesn't end there. Upon returning home, this couple decides to take action. They file a lawsuit against the GPS manufacturer, claiming that the misguidance caused them emotional distress and put their lives in danger. This is not an isolated incident. Across the country, similar cases begin to emerge, painting a picture of a growing concern over the reliability of GPS systems. As we peel back the layers of these legal battles, we find ourselves asking, who is truly at fault? Is it the manufacturer of the GPS device, or is it the users who may have failed to double-check the guidance provided? The legal arguments are as intricate as the technology itself. One of the key issues that arise in these cases is the concept of liability. In the digital age, where we rely heavily on technology for navigation, the question of accountability becomes paramount. Are GPS manufacturers responsible for the accuracy of the information they provide, or do users bear some responsibility for the choices they make when following these directions? The courts are faced with the daunting task of defining the bounds of liability. On one side, you have plaintiffs who argue that manufacturers should be held accountable for their products, especially when those products have the potential to put lives in danger. On the other side, defendants argue that users must take some responsibility for their decisions, particularly when it comes to navigation. This legal tug-of-war plays out in various courtrooms across the country. In one high-profile case, a driver following a GPS route found himself on a highway that was closed for construction. Ignoring the road sign's warning of the closure, he continued on, only to be involved in a serious accident. The driver subsequently sued the GPS manufacturer, claiming that their device misled him into a dangerous situation. As this case unfolds, it becomes clear how the courts grapple with the intersection of technology and human judgment. Judges must consider the expectations placed on GPS devices. Are they to be seen as infallible guides, or just one tool among many in a driver's arsenal? In another case, a woman driving through a city was directed by her GPS to make a turn that led her into a busy intersection without warning. She was struck by another vehicle, resulting in significant injuries. The woman pursued legal action against the GPS company, asserting that the device's instructions were not only misleading but also negligent. These stories illustrate the complex web of emotions, frustrations, and fears surrounding GPS misguidance. Victims, now advocates for change, raise their voices in court, hoping to hold these companies accountable for their technological failures. Yet the courtroom is not the only arena where these battles are fought. Public opinion plays a crucial role in shaping the dialogue around GPS technology and accountability. As stories of misguidance spread through social media and news outlets, consumers grow increasingly wary. They begin to question the reliability of their devices and wonder whether they should trust the very technology that has become a cornerstone of modern navigation. This skepticism has prompted some manufacturers to rethink their liability policies. In response to the mounting legal pressures, some companies have begun to include disclaimers in their user agreements, stating that GPS directions may not always be accurate and that users should exercise caution. But is this enough? The question remains. Does a simple disclaimer absolve a company of its responsibility? Many legal experts argue that disclaimers may not hold up in a court of law, especially if a user can demonstrate that the device led them into harm's way. As we continue to explore these legal battles, it becomes apparent that this is not just a matter of personal injury claims. The implications extend far beyond individual cases. As GPS technology evolves, so too does the need for regulations and standards to ensure user safety. Some advocates call for stricter regulations governing GPS accuracy and liability, arguing that just as we have safety standards for vehicles, we need similar guidelines for navigation technology. They contend that manufacturers should be held to a higher standard, especially when lives are on the line. The ongoing discourse raises important questions about the future of GPS technology and its role in our lives. As we rely more heavily on these systems, the stakes continue to grow. The potential for misguidance could lead to serious accidents, lost time, and even fatalities. In the face of these challenges, some companies have taken steps to enhance their systems. For example, many GPS manufacturers are now incorporating real-time data updates, allowing their devices to adapt to changing road conditions and closures. This shift represents a proactive approach to addressing the concerns of users and minimizing the risks associated with misguidance. However, innovation alone may not solve the underlying issues of accountability. As courts continue to grapple with these cases, the legal landscape remains uncertain. Each decision sets a precedent, influencing how future cases are handled and shaping the relationship between technology and the law. As we conclude this exploration into the legal battles over GPS misguidance, we are left with more questions than answers. The courtroom may be a theater of justice, but in this case, the verdict remains elusive. Are GPS manufacturers equipped to navigate the complex legal terrain of liability? Will consumer trust in technology ever be fully restored? And as we embrace the wonders of modern navigation, how do we balance innovation with responsibility? These are the questions that linger as we reflect on the intersection of technology and law. In this courtroom, as in life, the truth may be stranger than fiction. As we move forward, it is clear that the journey of GPS technology and its legal implications is far from over. The road ahead may be winding, but one thing is certain. The legal battles over GPS misguidance are shaping the future of navigation in ways we are only beginning to understand. So as we venture into our next destination, let us remain vigilant, questioning the paths we take and the guidance we trust, knowing that in the world of technology, every turn we make may lead us into uncharted territory. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the legal labyrinth of GPS misguidance, where the road to justice is anything but straightforward.